Stream has started.
Everyone have their stuff.
Yeah, I got my sheets ready.
Yeah.
I tune in.
I need to close that door. Yeah.
Everyone has their spells, but can they spell?
No.
No.
Here,
No.
don't pick me up.
Absolutely not.
I intentionally was like, we're not
push to talk.
You're still not push to talk over here.
This is what makes the captions, though.
That can still be coming through.
Hello.
Hello.
I
I think it's all right.
Padam.
I think it's all right. I think we need to let go of the captions.
Yeah.
and just-
Padam 1 2 3 4. Padam 1 2.
There we go. There we go. Sorry, push to talk on Google is stupid.
It is.
You have to mute your mic first to make it work.
Today I'm loving these subtitles.
I see. I see.
Look, we already have
Yay,
several
technology.
friends.
Hi, I hate everything.
Hi.
Hello, friends.
I love this.
Not
These
that
graphics.
I'm screaming.
This low. Oh, that's funny.
Is Padam the new? Yeah. Is that
I
it?
think it's just whatever you want it to be. I think it's just
so.
like
Yeah.
it's a hello. It's like it's like aloha. It's hello. It's goodbye. It's everything. It's
It's aloha.
It's an exclamation.
It's like spearing
Padam.
It's a whole send. You have a whole conversation just saying Padam with someone, you know?
Yeah.
So
Padam.
Padam.
Padam. Padam.
Panem?
It's the new wig, is what it is. It's the new wig.
A wig? Oh, Padam.
Should
I
I?
love I can't remember her name, but in the drag showcase, who sang the other version of Padam. There were
Yeah,
two versions of Padam.
Mm-hmm.
Rose, yeah.
Yeah.
Put 'em
Well,
up.
for just loved it.
The problem I have
I
with
love the
Dom is the
showcase.
same problem I have with Unholy. It's a bop, but it's way too fucking short.
Well, there is the extended version, so
It isn't unmuting you. On
which I think is the extended version is like a normal song length. I think
It's not push to talking you over here. Now it is.
extended mix is 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
Oh wow. Please. They don't make songs as long as they used to.
No.
The bar that I work at is a vinyl bar, and like I've noticed, as I've been playing records, just like songs, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, sometimes 6 minutes, Back in my day, old
do you
bitch
think-
yells at cloud, I know.
What do you think the like? How long do you think
When I was young.
a drag mix should be? Like, how long should a drag mix?
I think a good solid drag. If we're like, I would say no more than 5 minutes. If we're doing at least 3 different songs in it, 3 different songs, and you have like some spoken word, whatever, to segue parts
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are
Where you have
live.
like whips,
5.5.
No bump or
whips and
anything.
whooshes.
Yeah, if it's like there was this one drag artist out here that did a Poison Ivy number, right? And she did Uma Thurman's monologue in Batman, right? And then she did like 3 other songs. I forgot what it was, like years ago. But she did like 3 other songs, and like it was like 2 other like interludes to the next portion of a song, and it was like, okay, slay, this is great. And there's another queen not too long ago that I saw that did like
Mhm.
5 different songs, and the number was like 6 minutes long, 6-7 minutes long. And I was like, this is going on too long. I've given you my money.
I think about the time I did a mix for a competition. I had Chalora do some voiceover stuff for it, and that mix was like 7.5 minutes long.
Oh my God.
But I will say, it was entertaining like through the whole thing. So it wasn't like it didn't get stale. Because we have some people who they will just do 3 songs start to finish, back to back to back, and call it a mix. And there's like no flow to it. And then I heard a while back at a college show they told all the performers around here, you get 2 numbers and you get 15 minutes of performance time between those 2 numbers.
That's a
And so-
lot of time.
And so one girl said, I'm gonna do 15 minutes of Selena. And that's my number. So it
What was the
just,
second number?
she didn't do a second number.
Oh,
They told her you sent a 15-minute mix, you get to go on once. That's it.
She came out a second time and just walked off the stage. Just
Yeah.
on and on.
Local show director Ian Sider Blake actually has a moratorium saying your number cannot be more than 4.5 minutes long unless you get special permission from me.
Period.
Period. The end.
Also, Liz, nail on the head. Bohemian Rhapsody, American Pie, the spoken word poem.
Please.
I have an idea for a number that I want to do. It's completely stupid.
All right, shall we get started, or are we going to wait for a bit more for others in the
let's
drag
go.
showcase?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Let's get started.
Hello,
Session 0 hype.
Mixers. I am your illustrious dungeon mixtrix, Lucy McGillicuddy here, and welcome to the pre-premiere, I guess, of Wigs and Wyverns.
Woo!
With me tonight, or today, I am not used to day drag, so forgive me. We have, someone in Paris right now, but we have most of our illustrious cast, and I will let them introduce themselves, starting from top to bottom, as God intended. We have Joystick.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joystick, Twitch's resident drag monarch, because I'm both a king and a queen. Do I do my character?
Oh, yeah, please do your character introduction. Who are you? Where are you from? What's it all about, baby?
Okay, so I don't have a name because I am a Furbolg bard. Furbolgs don't believe in names, so I just get a bunch of. I'm very used to like you, that one, the big stupid one, all that. So yeah, my character grew up in the Feywilds, and then they moved out. They moved to Baldur's Gate at about like 10 years before everything that has inspired or conspired or whatever happened. And yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you. And over next to Chalora. Hello, darling. I love the glasses.
Hello. Thank you. I realized afterwards, I was like, do they even have sunglasses in D&D? But
Yeah.
why not?
I love anachronisms.
My name
Yeah,
is
Fun.
Melanie, or my character's name is Melanie. And she's an international woman of mystery. I kind of just want to leave it vague as possible and let her develop on her own. But she's an enigma. She's Carmen Sandiego, but absolutely nothing like Carmen Sandiego.
She's Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen Sandisnako. I mean, what?
What?
I'm a fucking snake. I like to hurt old people. And next, our final top, Aphasia Speaks.
Oh my god, I'm a top. I am. Thank you. Hi, my name is Portia Speaks, Black gender queer drag artist. I run the Speakeasy here on Twitch, and I am playing a half-orc monk named Dario. He's big, he's hot, he's kind of stupid. He's from Waterdeep, and he's like a go-go dancer. I'm living my himbo fantasy over here. So like,
He puts
Yeah.
the deep in water deep, if you know what I'm saying.
God, yes, he does.
I have a question. Is Waterdeep known for their submarines?
Can we get the stream ending screen? I think that's
You know,
it.
that was all of the time we had.
It's up.
Great session 0, y'all.
I'm screaming. Anyway, yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
On that mercenary note, we'll go to our bottoms. Drag Trashley on the line.
The first bottom. Hi, I'm Drag Trashly, and my character is Bustria Brawnbosom. She's a Goliath barbarian. And you know what? I don't like to plan too much. I don't like to give too much of a history. She is a barbarian, and her two-hand weapon are her titties. And she likes to she's learned to fight with them, you know.
That's amazing.
And so she specializes in two-titted combat, and she loves to drink, and she does speak with an Italian accent. I'm just kidding. No, she doesn't.
She's using
I
tick
don't have anything
controls.
else about her.
I'm going to
This
give
is all I have
my,
so far.
letter of apology to all of Italy, real quick.
I don't listen. I know I was hoping in session 0 we would start establishing what is a realm, where because we're all supposed to come from different realms, and maybe we'll get into this more later. And so I need to decide where she's from and figure all that out. And I was hoping to get some help today, and maybe we could do that. I don't know.
I did that a little bit with the letters I sent, but I can do more. That's what session B0 will be about. Like, before we get into it, show of hands in the chat. Who in here has never played D&D before?
I mean, I might as well not have.
Yeah,
Same.
I know, but I have
played it before
several
once,
times.
But
It was all
I
homebrew.
virtually had no idea what was going on through the vast majority of it. So
Maybe-
Since I was 16 and I still have no idea what's going on half the time. So we're in good company.
Maybe
I
Trashly's
played
character
D&D
was
before,
like,
but not to the extent where like I know about the lore of Dungeons and Dragons. I've just I know the system kind of.
Does
Meanwhile, it is
watching
my
Critical Role count?
focus. So, what's the word? Hyper focus. Yeah, special interest. Because I just like I cannot DM. I delayed DMing for like a month because like no, I need to get the lore exactly right, and I'm like nah, fuck it, we're going cool, real cool, baby. All right, so we can get Bustira set up today. Don't worry. We have someone in Paris, Kiyoshi Yoha, who could not be with us today.
Uwu.
But we have Baby. We have Fui. We have a name that I have been mispronouncing for over a year. Caricature, not Charicature.
just welcome to the club. Like everybody gets it wrong at least once. But yeah, I'm Caricature. I'm a gender fluid fashion illustrator, drag content creator, queen of draws play, all that jazz. And I am playing Fui. He is a grung rogue who is a ripe 10 months old, absolute baby of a little frog. And all he wants to do is just make candy and expand his customer base. Unfortunately, within universe rules, grungs have poisonous to the touch skin. And anything he makes by hand or touches has that effect as well. So while the grungs are fine and highly enjoy his little treats and delicacies he makes, anybody else who eats it ends up sick at best, if not just outright dying. So he just wants to be a good little grung, but he's technically evil.
Oh.
For you.
Oh wow.
That's one thing we talked about, Kara, and for the chat to know my D&D DM style is that I throw out all biodeterminism when it comes for alignments and races. I just never believed in it.
Yeah, I like the idea of him, like, he tries to be good, but he's evil accidentally.
Yeah, that is perfect for me. Like you're the Mr. Bean of Carnage.
Yes.
Walking entropy. I love that.
And last but not least, Portia Gaysa.
Hi everyone, I'm Portia Gaysa. I am playing Prissy, an Aarakocra Circle of Stars druid. I do, as you saw in the preview. Oh my god, it's stuck. It's stuck. No. I definitely did not just slightly rip my prosthetic. I don't know what you're talking about. But I do. It's fine. It's fine. I do have my prosthetics. I will be wearing. Though I'm realizing immediately that it's going to be trouble because I can't smile with the prosthetic on, and my face already hurts from laughing and smiling today. So we're gonna see how often this beat comes flying off. And I won't go too much into her backstory, but she is from the plane of air, as most Aarakocra are.
Okay. Perfect. And then there's me, as literally everyone else in the show. I will be sucking up on tea because I'm one of those DMs that does voices. Much to my chagrin, because I go for the deep guttural ones and destroy my thrusty within 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But, okay, so, who in here? We have some slightly, not newbies, but not virgins, but little rookie players and some veterans. How many of you have ever done anything related to or know anything about Ravenloft or Curse of Strahd, etc.?
It's one campaign I've never done.
Because we're taking all that shit and throwing most of it out the window.
Oh, fun.
Love that.
Curse of Strahd, when it first came out, did kind of have some more problematic portrayals, particularly of their Romani stand-ins, the Hassani. Again, some more biodeterminism with evil and actions, and these people are inherently evil. They work with Strahd. I'm like, no. And there's a character who got later, when they revised all that stuff, is introduced to be trans in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. But as you can tell from the title, it's never sunny in Barovia. And if you've ever watched the D&D movie, you know the disaster fucks that are going to happen. It's going to get weird, it's going to get crazy, and I'm going to exacerbate and encourage all of it. I don't like to railroad, that's the phrase. I'm not going to railroad y'all. I'll give you like hints and like nudges, like this is where the book says to go, or this is where logically you might go next, but you ain't got to do any of that shit. There's no time limits. Well, you're stuck here forever, baby, until you, I guess, in the Curse of Strahd. Which also, the working title of this was also Purse of Strahd, which my drag child came up with.
But
yeah,
a little bit fruity. Love that.
One of the difficult things that my DM panics is for Strahd is such like an iconic character in like the D&D canon, and like everyone like has like their own vision of like what Strahd looks and sounds like in their head. And now that I'm going to be bringing him to life in a internet forum, I might piss a lot of people off. But we'll try. I will. There will be the sentence. Hold on, let me get my Strahd wig. My dog.
Yes.
Oh.
You're
yeah. There's a wig just for Strahd that I have every time and I'm working on my. The way I can describe Strahd, if you look at the canon, if you look at the lore, he is the quintessential ultimate incel fuckboy. Yeah, and I'm going to play him as such. And I'm working on my DC Douglas Wesker voice for him a little bit.
Oh, no.
I got Chris. I'll work on it better.
God.
Chris!
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. The reveal of a voice is a very special thing.
Oh, absolutely. And the wig, too.
Yes.
To be fair, that wig does compress my spine.
Oh my God.
And I'm just now realizing, Cholora, it's not going to fit in this window at all. It's a triple stack.
Oh, wow.
It can be
I'll make it work.
We'll force it to work. But yeah, another thing that's like, so like technically, I guess I'm the writer of this, even though it's a pre-made module. This is actually going to be my first time DMing Curse of Strahd. I've DM'd before a lot, but this will be my first time DMing now that I'm on ADHD medication.
Period.
Yay!
Prepare and not just improvise 85% of the game, which I mostly do for most of my DM sessions. And, so just because of the whole expectation things, like this actually can count as part of my CV. Like I actually, am a professor of literature. I actually have a.
Are you kidding me? You couldn't even go one session. Not even one.
Darcy the male girl, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, this is my drag child, Aphasia McMinnie Cunty, the other Aphasia.
Hello.
And because I hate talking to myself when there are multiple NPCs, we have other NPCs that I will interact with in the form of puppets.
Yeah.
Little in the teaser trailer that got put out.
Yes. I'm gonna have to compete with every fucking wig, but it's all right.
Another sacrifice I'm having to make is because, as luck would have it, the big Dimension 20 just came out with Dungeons and Drag Queens with a bunch of Rue Girls, and I have to stop myself from watching it as the DM because I don't want to be accused or accidentally subconsciously steal anything from that game or that campaign. I am already having to stop myself from taking things from Final Fantasy 16 right now. So my sacrifice to you is I cannot watch that show until this campaign is finished, which who knows where it might be. This campaign lasted months for us. We went from level 3 to level 17, and then we just jumped from 17 to 20 for an epic level campaign. Also, let's get a feel for the chat here so they know how my DM says. Like I said, I am a rule cool DM. If the rules don't say you can't do it, I'll allow it. I like shit to get weird. I like outside the box thinking. I like being surprised. So one thing I'm going to say for your character sheets, and you can write this all down now, we'll be starting the game. Everyone will have one floating inspiration point. If you don't know what inspiration is, basically inspiration allows you to re-roll a die at any time at the cost of the inspiration point. Everyone will start with one, and I will grant more for crazy outside the box thinking or really deep in-depth role play. If y'all like really get in the character and like, in a perfect world, I should basically shut up and let y'all bicker amongst yourselves for a good chunk of the time. I don't want this to be the Lucy McGillicuddy show. I want us to be everyone here, even though I am in the big circle. So without further ado, I guess, first of all, do you have questions for me? DM style, world. I know Trashy, you want to talk about what the hell's a realm. So we can start like with all those questions that you have for like the setting, the campaign, what's going on, what am I doing? Please God help.
Yes, please.
The floor is open.
Oh, well, what is a realm?
Okay.
Would be right.
A world, a planet. The main world that I am most familiar with is Faerun, Forgotten Realms. That's the campaign setting that I know the most lore about and the most comfortable with. Is where Ravenloft used to be before Strahd did his fuck up things 500 years ago, give or take a decade. But basically, it's like the multiverse of madness. There is like infinite iterations of everything. There's a prime material plane where everyone takes place, Earth, the planet. There's like the Fey Wilds, which is like the astral plane where all the Fey magic come from. Fairies originate in the Fey Wilds, of course. There's also its opposite, the Shadowfell, where all the dead souls filter through into their own bespoke afterlife, depending on what god they worship or what good or bad things they did in life. And then there are demi-planes, little pocket dimensions that can be created by powerful magic or by powerful creatures. Gods, demigods can create their own little pocket dimension, and that's where Barovia is. Barovia is in its own little pocket dimension. Basically, and this is the phrase that some NPCs will use, it's the sinkhole of the multiverse. Some things just kind of just end up there, and once you're there, unless Strahd lets you out, you can't get out.
Oh. So I have a question, and I guess this can help the chat as well.
who is Strahd exactly?
Okay, so Strahd is, well, originally, if you look at the old edition books, he is basically ripped off the artwork of Castlevania. Strahd is the ultimate fuckboy. He is a vampire lord who has taken over Barovia and made a deal with an evil entity that let him take Barovia out of Forgotten Realms and be its own little demiplane where he has absolute control over it. And he gets bored and he just steals adventurers from other realms because he's bored and wants to fight them and see what will happen.
Slay.
Now, to add the one twist to make it more of a comedy campaign, because D&D is not meant to be taken seriously, even though the book's written as dark, edgy. All of you are not who Strahd invited.
Mm-hmm.
I've given you all letters for the original recipient that was meant to be sucked into Barovia. And I let you will decide how did you come across those letters? How did you accidentally get in possession of this letter? And I kind of try to play it into like your backgrounds, like which I also want to go over like what backgrounds did you pick for your character and like more character development as session 0 goes on, because the game's like, and Joystick, correct me if I'm wrong, you said this will be like a 4.5 hours per set?
I believe. Yeah, we're gonna have like a little bit of a break in between as well.
Thank God. We're not going to go that long for session 0, of course, because it's just like who we are. Okay, do we want to roll now? Like what? But this is more getting to know me, getting to know you, getting to know your play style, getting your expectations. Having maybe do any characters know each other beforehand? Like y'all can talk about some of y'all from the same planet. It sounds like most of y'all from Forgotten Realms. In fact, it sounds like most of y'all from the Sword Coast, Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep.
I don't know where I'm from.
I feel like Trashly was like out running one day and her boobs just like smacked her in the head and gave her memory loss.
Oh my god, that's so fun.
Honestly, that's great.
That's great. She said,
I don't know where I'm
nothing,
from.
but I'm buxom and I hit people with my tits.
No, I think it's not a character choice to not know where I'm from. I just don't know the options or what makes sense, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, don't feel that you have to make sense all the time. I will barely make sense half the time here, too.
Yeah, I didn't know anything coming into this.
Note that just to show my pedigree, this is a mechanic I stole from my days in the Vampire the Masquerade LARP back in college. It's a thing called Darkness Warning. I'm gonna let y'all have free range and do whatever the fuck y'all want whenever. I'm not gonna railroad y'all, I'm not gonna push y'all to a thing, but if you do a thing that could make things go really off the rails and result in deaths, I will say Darkness Warning. Darkness Warning 1, all right, this is gonna get weird. People could die. Darkness Warning 2, okay. People will die if you do this. Might not be you, but the story could be completely permanently changed. And Darkness Warning 3 is, hey, this is crazy. You will probably result in killing the entire party if you do this. I'm not going to stop you, but fair warning. It'll be a miracle if you survive. But other than that, you have free range to do whatever the hell you want in the land of Barovia. I have come up with a cast of characters, both from the book and completely out of my ass, just to make things interesting and spicy. And I will say that Fwee might have some competition of who is baby.
Oh
no.
Will you give
battle
for the Darkness Warnings? Is there like a sound, or will you just be like Darkness Warning?
I'll say Darkness Warning, and I'll put a raven up here on the DM screen. Sorry.
Oh.
So,
Is that that's that one board game? What is it?
Let me see if I can put it. There's there. They're Mysterium, yeah. This from this I stole this from the board game Mysterium. I stole this from the board game Mysterium.
Love the crows.
Yeah, they're Corvids are amazing.
What about vultures? How do you feel about vultures?
I'm sorry, what?
How do you feel about vultures?
Love.
They have a good service. They provide a complete necessary need for the world. I love birds are just cool.
Part of a good breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you.
A balanced breakfast.
Vulture.
All right.
So we're already at 3 crows.
Oh, no. Oh god, we're all dead.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, eventually.
We're gonna die in there.
Hey, there's a constant state of entropy. We will all die one day, yeah.
It's true.
But did you live in the meantime?
Ooh, that's deep.
So one thing I do to get to get some more character stuff going on, and I'm gonna go down the row. So like I said, last night or night before, I sent everyone a letter from Strahd. That it's not to you, but you ended up with it. So if you don't have an idea of how you came up with it first, that's fine. But I want you to basically read this letter to Strahd aloud, so because no one else has been able to see your letters. So like this will give you some background of not just who Strahd is, but also like what he wants, and maybe if you kind of put some pieces together, maybe some more hints about how to defeat him, if that's the way you want to go. So we will start with Toot, that one over there, the Fearbulg.
Oh, Toot, yes, me. Hi, hello. Okay, so my letter says, my friend Minsk, your name has become legendary up and down the Sword Coast as the warrior that has transcended both time and death. But what is a name? What power does it hold? How far could you go in a land where your name means nothing and your fame is non-existent? I know this isn't about me because, like, I have no name. How painful would it be for you to become a nobody, an anonymous miscreant struggling for survival among countless other desperate souls? I bid you welcome and extend a personal invitation to my castle so that we may dine and discuss these matters in a more civilized setting. Please rest assured that your journey and stay here will be safe and you will come to no harm by my hand or those of my associates, as long as you and your rodent behave, of course. Yours, etc., Strahd.
And see, I try to play it into like, I try to make it ironic, like this guy's all about the name, and you, of course, don't have one. Irony. So, like, what did that letter resonate with you? Like, what does it make you feel? Like, what do you get out of that?
Honestly, I don't know, because, like, my first reaction as my character would be, who the fuck is Minsk? And who named him that? Is it
Minsk is actually a very famous figure in Baldur's Gate.
Oh. They sound like a, wait, do I know that, though? Would I know that?
He's an absolute himbo.
Oh, I probably would then. I probably would then.
Sorry, I misspoke. Miniaturized giant space hamster.
Oh, cute.
Oh.
There's a Magic the Gathering card.
There's a Magic the Gathering card of them together. It is quite cute.
Okay, I need to look that up then. But yeah, I don't know how this ended up here, but I'm stuck with it.
Chalora, Melanie, what does your letter say? The birds. Oh, what does your letter say?
Why are you muted on stream?
Laura, sorry to interrupt you. Apparently, you're muted.
Oh.
Take it from the top.
You know, maybe it's for the best. Here I am, like trying to like have nice inflection. And I was very focused on fixing Aphasia's nameplate. I'm so sorry.
Also, really quickly, while we're doing tech support, are we sharing the stories of how our characters got our letters, or just the letters?
If you have a story in mind, please do.
Perfect. Okay.
Should I say the letter first, or should I say where I got it?
Or if you want to keep it a secret, you can do that too. Because one thing I like mystery and I hate metagaming.
I have a lot of secrets.
So you can keep that a secret.
Exactly. Maybe I will. I'll save it for RP.
That's
so
why your hair is covered. It's full of secrets.
It's true.
Let's read the letter for the.
Sorry.
It's okay. My dear Eleni, my beautiful serpent among a bed of flowers, I know your secret. You've kept the truth of yourself hidden from all, even those you claim to love. Such deception can be necessary for survival among the ignorant human masses that tarnish the face of your world. How would this secret fare you in another world? How far would you go to keep it? I bid you welcome and extend an invitation to dine at my castle. Your journey and stay here will see you entirely safe and unmolested. Know that it is I who have brought you to these, and know that I alone can release you from them. Yours in confidence, Strahd von Zarovich.
Beautiful. All right. Big Chungus, Dorio.
Okay. So mine says, my dear Tirash, orcs are rare in Brovia. Recently, I have accidentally broken my latest orc toy and require a new one. In a land so lacking in diversity, such strong playmates are extremely difficult to come by. People of Bravia, almost entirely consuming of humans with a smattering of elves, have always been xenophobic a lot. Even before I liberated this realm from Faerun and set it as the new crown jewel of the demiplanes of Dread, you will be their. Will you be their champion and save them, or will you distrust will their distrust and bigotry cause you to forsake them? Regardless, I will always see you as a friend. Looking forward to your arrival, Strahd van Zarovich. This is interesting because he's like, hey, there are not really a whole lot of orcs here, and people are racist here. But he said plaything and toy. Like, are we doing the do? Like, are we fighting until like I die? And also like this guy is his friend and liberating them? I'm very confused about all of this. So I came across this letter one night. I was go-going at a local queer bar, and Orc Daddy tipped me, but I guess he put the letter in with the coins in my coin pouch, if you know what I mean. That's not my butt.
I know what you're saying.
Swiped it like a credit card, you know?
Yeah, he just swipes it like a card on the cheeks.
The coin purse.
And I found that the next morning, and I was like, "What is this?" So, yeah.
Now, Trashly, I have a very important question.
Yes.
Is Bustira literate?
I want to. Yeah, I think she can.
Okay.
Yeah, she can. She's not like super intelligent, but I think she can. I want to say she's from. So she's a Goliath barbarian. So I feel like it seems like that race is kind of very conservative. They're not very social, but I feel like she moved away from that as soon as she could, and set off on her own to make her own self. And so I feel like she's kind of not part of those traditions of stoic and stone and silent.
She's gonna be a big star in Hollywood.
Go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Please, Emma Stone.
I promise this
star.
won't there.
It's very Pearl, yeah.
I want to say, sorry, what?
I would say, what does the letter to Bastira say?
It says, "My dear Lent, know that it is I who have brought you to this land, and know that I alone can release you from it. Tales of your virtue and steadfast sense of justice have grown with each of your naive exploits. The adventures of you and your friends overcoming impossible odds and triumphs over tyranny are now so prolific that have even reached my ears. You have struggled with your brutish and violent nature associated with your kin, with only your convictions to still your bloody rage. Yet," and I need to move this little window, "yet who or what you would become should all be removed. Would you still survive seemingly insurmountable evil? Were you to be removed from those friends you've constantly relied on? Would your rage still be quelled if injustice and unfairness were the laws of the land? How far would your convictions carry you then? I would love to see this grand experiment play out in my domain. Will you resist the savage nature of your orc blood? Will you give it to despair or malice? What will you become when all that surrounds you in dread? When all that surrounds you is dread. What will you become when all that surrounds you in dread? I look forward to seeing you struggle so deliciously. Yours truly, Strahd von Starch." So this letter wasn't meant for Bustria. I think that she was at a bar watching some go-go dancers, and she was at a Phaeacious bar. She drank a lot that night. She drank so much, and she just kind of, I think she might have went home with Lent, and maybe in just like the morning hangover, just still kind of drunk rush, picked up her things and ran out, and then accidentally picked up that letter as well.
If you do hook up with Lent, it'll be a three-way with his wife. That's
Or
the one.
Lent,
That's the one self-insert character I had. Was my old D&D character was Lent.
Oh, Lent. Okay, well, maybe Lent was at the bar, and and their wife came over and said, we really like your vibe.
Not this. I
And
knew it.
Make a nice Goliath or elf sandwich.
yeah, sure. But yeah, she was drunk. She woke up with a letter. Perfect. Maybe there was a hookup, maybe not.
And that'll also put you in Forgotten Realms as well. Awesome.
Sure, yes, because that was at Phaeacious Bar, yeah.
Also,
but we'll do next time. Fui, why don't you take it away, please?
Okay, so I found this guy in the jungle. I was out scouting because that's my job, and he seemed really interested in my little village, so I was telling them all about it, and I thought, well, let me offer him a local delicacy that I've made, a little piece of candy, and I also needed some compensation for it, also for all the information I was giving him. So I put my little froggy hand out and I went, please. And he gave me this new, really fancy paper currency that I had never heard of, that I guess is a human thing. And then I looked at the money and it had words on it. And I can read Common and kind of understand bits and pieces of it, but I don't know what half of this means. So the paper that I got says, "My dear Garamond, you are an evil, heartless monster," which I don't think it was for him because he was a human and not a monster. And I mean that as the highest compliment. Your knowledge of anatomy and poisons is inspiring and a beautiful work of art. I knew I just had to have you. I will not insult you with the job offer, as I know you prefer your own personal freedoms above everything else. Sadly, I must strip that away from you. I wish to dine with you at my castle, so that we may discuss potential business endeavors together. I pray that you shall not disappoint. Your fan, Strahd von Zorovich. So whoever this guy was, or whoever the intended recipient of this letter was, this person seemed to like them. I do understand that much. But that's about the extent of what I got out of this.
Yeah, yours and Kiyoshi's were like the two like fangirl letters, like where Sean's like, "Oh yeah, I fucking love this bitch," which will mean like when he finds a frog person, and instead, it'd be quite devastating to him.
Yeah.
All right, now Pri.
Yes. So, I was minding my own business, flying high as I do, enjoying the constellations, and it was a wonderful day. Wonderful evening, excuse me. The constellations were bright. They were telling me everything that I wanted to hear from them. And then they sent me a clearer message in the form of a goddamn meteorite that knocked me clear out the sky and sent me tumbling down. And I fly quite high, and I fell for a long time. And I landed on a beach. And thank goodness I had something to break my fall. I was unconscious for longer than I would care to admit. And when I woke up, I looked down and I realized I had fallen on someone. Goodness, he was very strange. He looked human, but he had some sort of giant crab claw. It was very interesting. But in his other outstretched hand, he had a letter. And, well, I checked his pulse, and it seemed as though he is not going to need it anymore, so I picked it up and took a look. And it read something very interesting. My dear Gar Shettlekeel, you of the verdant thumb have always prided yourself as a warden of nature. Indeed, your very life and soul seems bound to the lands you so dutifully protect and nourish. My people are in need of such a champion. The lands of Barovia are bleak and desolate, where much of the soil refuses even the most stubborn of weed life. And what is a ruler without his people? I cannot let my mortal charges perish in fear and hunger. What is a dreadlord without victims to wring every last drop of horror from their psyche? They cannot get off so light and easily. I hope that your knowledge and presence mayhaps preserve the life of the land, and to help the people survive a little longer. I do not expect you to succeed. I do expect that we shall have a lot of fun. See you soon, Tra.
Question: when do we get Pui for Snatch Game? Because that was fucking beautiful.
Thank you. I've been working on this voice for quite a while.
It's fucking perfect. It fits. I love it.
Thank you.
It's giving me Skeksis a little bit from Dark Crystal.
I was thinking a little Skeksis with just a touch of Dame Maggie Smith.
Oh, she would play a Skeksis. So anyway.
Yes. Her playing a Skeksis would be Skeksis.
Period. I hate you so much for that, though. God. Anyway.
Yeah, it's already becoming a comedy of errors, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The disaster players here are going to just take Barovia by storm, I hope. All right. So what else can or should we do, Miss Director Joystick, for session 0?
Muted. What?
Wow.
Well said, Joy. Well said.
You know.
While Joy
Joy
does the
seek, but
technical
not speak.
thing, I did some quick googling, and I have a suggestion of where Trashly, where your character could be from. Sundabar is like a historically militaristic and violent city in the world of D&D, and so that might fit as someone who's also like really aggressive and such.
It's Sundabar is they have strong drinks. That's what I hear.
I fucking hope so.
Is it Vandabar in Sundabar?
If you're pouring for a Goliath, so you need to like pour like a triple.
Yeah, exactly. More, at least.
Oh, I also, if the characters delve into that sort of stuff, I do actually have rules for drinking, getting drunk, and doing drugs.
Oh.
Because the campaign that I DM'd previously, and it was also one of the ones I was tossing up, like which ones I could DM for this, was just a very lethal tavern tour, a bar crawl across the planet.
Oh.
Including a bar inside of an active war zone.
Oh.
And so it was all just trying not to drink yourself to death.
It's a lot.
Okay, there we go. Hello.
Hi, Joy.
Me every time I go.
Hi. My voice mod crashed.
Oh no.
Taylor's oldest time.
Yeah. But yeah, we can just like figure out like character interactions here, and then we can well, if we have time or if we want to, we can start with role playing a little bit.
All right, yes. All right, so we've kind of established that Bustira and Dorio might have bumped into each other at the same bar with the Orc Go-Go dancers in Waterdeep. So there's a connection there. And it does sound like pretty much all of y'all, except for Hui, are from Faerun, Forgotten Realms. So you could have at some point interacted, especially since the Sword Coast is the most popular part of the game and has the most shit written about it. And the most movies set there.
Slay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the bar that I work at. Let's come up with a name for it.
Wasn't it Wonder? What was the bar that, or the Portia said the realm? What was it called?
Oh, the city was Sundabar, but that's different than Waterdeep.
You could be from Sundabar, but you probably like took a vacation in Waterdeep. It's a popular like Venice type city.
Interesting.
Can Waterdeep be? Can the thing in Waterdeep be named Ocean Gate?
Oh no.
Let me talk to my lawyers first.
Titanic.
Fear crashes through my window with a gun, says no.
What kind of bar do you think that you go dance at, Aphasia?
It's like one of the more popular like queer bars there. You have every flavor of sexy dancer. There's performers, obviously.
So definitely the Red Lantern District.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And I think I think Bustry is a barb babe, and she likes to go to the queer bars. And that might be where she frequents a lot. So I think she's seen you dance a lot, but I don't think like we're friends. I don't think like we.
And I have definitely seen you swinging them titties around. So
yeah.
I feel like you probably got kicked out once or twice for knocking someone out by accident.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Well, you start shimmying, and next thing you know, you're taking out half the dance.
No.
Is Bastira Barb?
She's a barb, yeah.
I don't know. She goes like
the whole up on the Shalaka.
Maybe the bar is Roxanne's, since it's in the red light district.
Oh,
right. Did you say making truck? Okay.
What would a good queer bard name be for what the Forgotten Realm? What city is it again?
Waterdeep.
Do pirates
Waterdeep?
frequent there?
Maybe like
Because it could be the booty hole.
The douche and sleep.
the deep booty hole.
The booty hole in the wall. You know?
Cavernous booty hole.
I like
Plunder booty hole. We put the wet in Waterdeep.
My favorite watering hole, the booty hole.
You know what? I like the booty hole. Let's do that.
It is the booty hole. All right. Player said it. Must be true.
There it is.
That's also like one of my D&Ds. Like, if a player says something, I'm like, you know what? You've written this yourself, bitch, and you soak in it. The player said it. Must be true.
Not soaking, please. We're soaking in the booty hole.
Like a Mormon.
It's so moist and wet in here.
I need to go. This has been fun.
Soak like a Mormon. I'm gonna jump pump the bed for you.
I actually very quickly do need to run to the restroom. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
All sloshy all the time.
Not soaking. Come on, kids at BYU. Anyway.
And they like every summer they have a night, they call it Summer's Eve at the booty hole.
Oh my god, we love lesbian night.
Lesbians will save the world.
They will.
You heard it here first.
With their U-Hauls.
And their Come on, the ultimatum queer love.
I got these +1 Doc Martens.
Can they like build me a life plan? That sounds real nice.
Yeah, what's Dorio's 5-year plan?
He doesn't really have one. You know, shaking, throwing ass, taking names, and he was technically trained as a monk. Let's listen to some of his backstory real quick then. Okay.
Yes.
So he's a half orc, right? So his mom is another half orc, but you know, whatever, right? And his dad is human. They met in Waterdeep when she used to be an adventurer. And then she met this human man. They fell in love, and she settled down and they had a child, which is me. And she's a monk, and she wanted to teach him how to defend himself because, you know, people can discriminate all the time, and she wanted him to, you know, be able to defend himself. So she taught him how to fight in the style of a monk, but he found a love of like dancing, and his parents weren't very supportive of that. They still love him regardless. They're like, dancing's not a real career kind of deal, right? But he's like, watch me do something with it. And so he incorporates his dancing with his fighting style. So he throws ass and hands.
Is your fighting style like Eddie from Tekken?
Kinda, yeah. I want to say it's like a mix between that and the dancer class in Final Fantasy 14. It's just super gay, all day, every day.
Love.
Mm-hmm. He looks like he looks like a Lady Gaga backup dancer. How they just like do some weird shit all the time. That's what he'd be doing.
So I take it if he did ballroom, he would specialize in hand performance.
Oh yeah. He specializes in hand performance. He does runway, butch queen realness, and yeah, that's his specialty. He is trade all day, every day, and a little stupid. But he's wise. He's streetwise. Just, you know, he's fam. My fan is over there somewhere. I'll grab it next session. He'll be thorping that all the time. I want to now have him fight with the fan like Katana. Anyway, yeah, that's him. That's his little bit of his backstory. He found this bar to work at one night when he was out with friends, and he was like discovering himself as a young queer person. As you know, this tale as old as time. You know, you go out with your friends, and you're like, I don't know, I don't really know about this. I'm just still kind of figuring myself out. Went here, and then he said, "Oh no, honey."
I guess so too.
Oh no, I'm gonna be here. This is what I want to do. And he made a lot of. He's freaking there a lot. He ended up auditioning for a go-go dancer position, and now he's really popular. So,
all right. Okay, perfect. I was going to say you'd be surprised, but I think actually no one would hear, even in the chat, would be surprised that the amount of scantily clad go-go dancing orc pictures I have on my computer.
I would not be surprised.
I have a type, as I said.
I do too. That's why I picked him.
Joy, your Fearbulg prosthetics and makeup did things to me, and it made me look at you in a whole new light. I'm like, oh god damn.
The ears are literally just paper that I painted over. And then I just color corrected it.
Crafty. Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't paint myself green.
So let's talk about if you have any more information. That one over there's time in the Feywilds. Like Aber just asked, does Toot have a brother or sister, non-binary sibling named Boot?
I think for me, for my character, they are an only child. They are just like very much they were born to like hippie parents. And their family was very nomadic. They didn't really like have any roots anywhere. They just like wandered around. They were mostly like nature people. And then they wanted to explore places past the like not in the Feywild. So they decided to just like go over to they were trying to figure out how to get to Faerun, and ended up in Baldur's Gate for a little bit, and kind of fell into like the deep, like the I would say like he would fall into like these like seedy organizations. Like he was underground. He worked as like a bouncer for a little bit because he's like 8 foot tall, really buff. So
oh my god,
he could be intimidating. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
how did that one become a bard? Or chef, rather.
Well, he's always had this like want to cook. So my goal was my idea for my character is basically be the Ignis of the party.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, and I've always wanted to do like a chef character, but like I didn't really know how to do that without homebrewing a bunch of shit. So and then Lucy told me that you want like basically anyone that is pursuing an art can be a bard, and cooking is an art. So yeah.
Absolutely, it is. Except for baking.
I got my degree to prove it.
Mess one thing up, you are screwed.
As a pastry arts major, yes.
So you didn't spend too much time as an adult in the Feywild, so you probably didn't go to the Throbbing Goblin.
No. Well, the thing is, like, 30 they just turned into an adult, right? For Furbolgs, because Furbolgs lived to like 500-ish. So he moved to Fabian at around like 20-ish, so he's been there for like 10-ish years. So, yeah.
All right, don't worry. Well, I will work in the Throbbing Goblin in a future date because I love that name. Okay, let's see. Anyone else have any backstory they want to share, or they're coming up with, or want to workshop some stuff with us? This is like my teaching class.
Right. I always counted to 10 before or in my head at least before moving on.
Oops.
But I honestly have Precy's backstory pretty much fleshed out. What I'm worried about is how does she meet the rest of you? Because like you said, like she's from the plane of air. Vultures are largely solitary creatures. So yeah, that's just the part I'm not 100% certain is like what our meeting is, or even just part of you. Some of you.
I do have a scenario written for that we can do at the end of this session. But if like I said, if you have any other connections to it, like I know Pre is from the plane of air and probably would not have interacted with a mortal because her first interaction was landing on someone and killing them.
Well, she'd been in the material plane for a little bit. It's not. This is not like her first moment, but regardless, like vultures are very solitary creatures. So, or at least the vulture I'm basing my basing Precy off of is. So, she's been in the material plane. She just hasn't really talked to anyone.
Okay.
Portia, I have a question for your character.
Mm-hmm.
How many people can you hold while flying, and can we just get on top of you and fly to Mordor and skip the entire campaign?
Yes, I dropped Booberella on. No, I'm also probably just going to call you Booberella because I think it's funny. No, actually, Aarakocra are like super fragile. I can't actually carry anyone with me. I'm not strong enough for that.
How can a 3 ounce bud carry a 2 pound coconut?
Exactly. Yeah, no, my strength
great.
My strength is +0. I'm very unlikely to make a strength check to be able to do that.
What about Flea?
Can you carry Flea?
Yeah, I'm little.
Maybe. What's your size?
I am 2.5 feet tall. So small.
Okay, you small. I mean, I think that I would leave that up to Lucy if I am able to carry Flea, maybe at the cost of some flight speed or something. I don't know.
It would depend on your athletics check.
Well, I mean, I can also jump really far from without any running start. So theoretically, you could just yeet me.
Right. Would you consider allowing me to use my acrobatics, or because Flea is a frog, even animal handling?
You know what? I would know.
That's a person.
I know. I'm just bullshitting that part.
I will allow acrobatics if you make it acrobatically spectacular and do some stunts on us.
Me? Acrobatics? I couldn't possibly.
You'd have to resist the poison too, right?
Yeah,
as long as she doesn't touch my skin, I'll be okay.
He wears clothing, right?
But he's got a little padded outfit and a little cape.
Okay.
A little bag.
I'm like Rogue from X-Men.
Yeah.
But with poison.
Yeah.
So is this race like a poison dart frogs kind of situation?
Kind of. So what I understand of the grung stuff, the poison skin will come in really handy early on, but as we all level up and the world levels up with us, it basically has no effect on anything. Just because otherwise it would be really, really overpowered because like anything that physically comes into contact with me has to roll for like damage or has to roll for like missing or whatever, but then also has to roll for whether or not they're poisoned.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff when I was building the character suggested that I made Fui like a melee fighter who does. So he was almost a barbarian at one point, which I think would be funny. Just like this tiny little frog, just like molly-whopping people. But yeah, he the poison stuff is gonna be interesting to see how that plays out.
Oh, and grungs can climb, so we have a flying character and a climbing character. That's awesome.
Yep,
We're not gonna be stuck to the ground.
Yeah, I think I can do a high jump of 25 feet without a running start. So I can just, catapult myself wherever we need to go.
I love that scene in Muppet Treasure Island when Kermit the Frog just jumps.
It's funny because so I've only played as a character in this campaign before, and I was a small kobold. And
I love a kobold.
One of the ways that we broke into a place we wanted to spy on, because we didn't trust the people, is they cast Reduce on me and then cast Catapult and rocketed me through the window from several blocks away.
Good. Aren't kobolds small as it is?
Yes.
So they made you tiny.
Yes.
I love that.
I love it too. Also,
it's like I'm a dragon, I can fly.
One of the things that D&D says about Curse of Strahd in particular is that you can replace because there's randomization elements here. I am not run. Mama loves a randomizer for her Saturday streams, but this ain't it.
Okay.
I have a story written in mind because the randomization elements are kind of just almost like playing Clue. Like, who's the NPC you need to meet to defeat Strahd? Where is the sword to defeat Strahd located at? And I'm like, no, I'm going to write this shit down and maybe change some things that are more problematic. Yeah, I'm stripping most of the randomization elements out because you fuckers are going to be random enough.
Yeah.
Teehee.
Oh, and Aphasia, because you have already broken the seal on the mandatory required Monty Python reference. One thing that I kickstarted and is coming out soon for a future season, if we get to do a future season, is I kickstarted and I'm getting a copy of the official licensed Monty Python tabletop role-playing game. AKA Monty Python's medieval co-curricular reenactment program, not a silly role-playing game.
I love that.
And I already have a campaign kind of written in mind for a complete full tilt bozo, balls to the wall Monty Python D&D. If we get a season 2, 3, whatever.
Nice.
I love that.
Maybe something we could not metagaming, but just kind of generally discussing how our abilities and our classes interact, or covering our bases. We don't have a cleric. I know bards can do some healing. I can do some healing, especially as a Circle of Stars druid. I actually have one of my so I don't know if anyone's ever played Circle of Stars. It's kind of like a later addition to druids. Basically, instead of transforming into animals, Circle of Stars druids can embody constellations and embody the stars themselves. So I have 3 possible constellations I can turn into, and one of them is the Chalice, which means I actually do double healing. When I cast Cure Wounds, I get to basically do it twice. So it feels like I'm probably going to be the primary healer unintentionally, but yeah, I don't know how other people feel about like their roles in combat.
We love an astrological queer person. She said, "What's your big three?"
Yeah, and that's why, like, when I was looking over the characters, like, there's no main healer really. The druid can be a main healer, but it looked when we played this campaign, we only we had a druid main healer for a little bit, Actually, we had two backup heals. We had a druid and a paladin as backup heals, and then the druid changed. Long story. So it was celestial warlock and paladin as our backup heals with no main healer, and we did just fine.
Not necessarily metagame, but Joy, if you don't mind having like one healing song or something in your back pocket, or healing me. Are you using like your food as your magic? Oh, you're muted again.
I have one healing spell, so yeah, and also yes, my food will be healing as well.
God,
hopefully, if that's okay with
Maribel's
Lucy.
mom and Encanto.
Yeah, just make it like a modified berry spell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, yeah.
So you're just gonna like eye us in the face and we gain 5 hit points.
And I don't consider strategizing metagaming.
Okay.
Pie me, daddy.
You don't want to talk about like how y'all all synergize together. Like, what's the synergy?
Right.
Absolutely, go for it.
I do quite like that one over there and Fui are kind of like foils to each other in a way, between like the height discrepancy alone, but then also like they make food that heals people and I make candy that accidentally kills them.
I think what Trashly, you and I are the damage dealing physical fighters, right?
Yeah, I want to use my boobs to attack, and I'm not sure what weapon that would equivalent to.
Is it like an unarmed weapon? Or like a club?
Is it two-handed?
I feel like
is
two clubs.
What would be the equivalent? I have in my inventory a great axe, a hand axe, and a javelin. But I think I can switch that.
If you wanted to say use clubs and say they're your boobs for cosmetic effect, go for it.
Okay, so the clubs, 2 clubs, but they're boobs.
But they're your boobs, yes.
I'm glad.
Big old yabos.
Never say I gave you nothing, baby.
I love that your tits are just like bludgeoning weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Get some piercings, you make slashing.
Oh my god, you should get your nipples pierced.
Oh yeah, maybe.
That's what the axes are for.
Fight coloring.
Or get like the giant Madonna cone bra.
Now you're on to something.
I added clubs.
Territory now. Someone call Lori Petty.
I added clubs, and they're only 2 pounds each, and I don't think that's accurate. And it says simple and light, and I don't think that's accurate. But you know what? We'll just have to.
They're great clubs.
Yeah, they're great. We need great clubs.
The Bongo Fiesta.
Bongo Fiesta.
All right, this is already turning out better than I expected. Okay. Any other synergistics questions, background, secrets you want to share, recipes perhaps? Oh,
here's a
and by the way, Joy, have you worked on I've come up with a new recipe voice?
No, but I will have it as a sound command.
That is your homework.
Yeah, hold on. Where is it?
I was gonna say I'm curious for Aphasia and everybody. What is each of our characters' combat style? I mean, I've already said I'm fighting with 2 clubs tied together as a breastplate. Please, advertise. So I'm a barbarian, so I'll be doing attacks like that. I have a lot of HP, so I'll be tanking.
Yeah, I also have a pretty good number of HP. A lot of my attacks are going to be like unarmed strikes. Fury of blows. So I do like multiple, hits at a time. But a lot of my damage comes from my dex bonus.
Your what?
As my dexterity bonus as a monk. My damage
I heard something different.
So.
Your big dexterity.
Yeah, it's so big and throbbing dexterity. But yeah,
So does that mean you're a 2-pump chump?
Of course not. I mean, is he even a top? I don't know at this point. We'll figure it out in roleplay.
I would assume that some orcs just play musical holes.
We roll for top.
Musical holes.
Roll for top.
Roll for. Yep.
Maybe we'll just say that he's a versatile performer.
Mm.
Let's go with that.
Oh, speaking of synergy and like where your skills lie and like what skills y'all might be missing and stuff, and I know, especially for queer and neurodivergent D&D players such as ourselves, we tend to like find certain NPCs that we just fall in love with and latch onto and kind of adopt into the party. I have a system for that to also keep them protected so they won't die in combat and also not take initiatives and do basically screw everything up for my planning. Basically, there'll be some NPCs that can come with you. You can take one into combat, and basically you can spend your bonus action to make them do a thing.
Oh.
So basically like an assist trophy or like the cameo system in Mortal Kombat 1.
So excited for that game.
So you don't have to worry about adopting some disaster queers and them accidentally dying. They'll be safe. They'll only die in roleplay.
To like progress the plot, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Not the woman in the refrigerator or killing the gay or whatever.
Yep. Bury the gays, yeah, all that stuff. I just rewatched Urban Legend and like, wow, they really just bury the lesbian in this one, don't they? Don't even give her a good fucking kill.
I just watched Urban Legend the other day.
It's a good movie.
It's campy.
Oh yeah. That for me is good.
I love it. It's so good.
All right. So if there's nothing else, do we want to start a little bit of light role play to get all the characters together in one central location?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
As you break the crimson wax seal on the letters that you have accidentally become into contact with, the moment you finish reading the name Strahd, at first you feel like your eyes are starting to like lose focus and go hazy, but you realize it's not you. A fog is creeping in all around you until a point where it's almost the only thing you can see is a dense, wet, but strangely uncomfortably warm fog that has envelops you. As you try to get your bearings, you notice that there are shapes in the fog. The fog seems less dense in front of you, but behind you it seems thicker and even almost darker, to a point where you almost swear you can see tendrils writhing in it. Your move, players.
I look around and say, "Hello? Where am I? What happened?"
All of you do hear this voice shouting hello. You can't see anything yet, but ahead of you seems like there might be a patch of fog that's less dense.
So are the tendrils like actual tendrils, or are they just like shapes of, or do I not know
big
that?
Shapes that you can kind of make out in the fog where it's thicker behind you.
Let's see.
Does different vision matter here, or is it just foggy for everyone?
No, because this is it's not the light, it's the coverage, it's the obfuscation that the mist is causing.
Just check.
I feel like by the end of reading the letter, Bustria had fallen asleep and she just is sleeping. She does not realize that there's any fog anywhere. She's just kind of still sleeping, and maybe she's getting she's like waking up to the voice of Phasia. What's your character name again?
Dario.
Wait, I can see it. Dario. She's kind of waking up to that voice. She's like her brain is in a fog as well.
She's slept worse places.
Yeah.
Probably hungover, which I won't
Yeah,
put penalties for this time.
She's hungover from the booty hole. drink too much.
If I had $1, every time I got hungover from the booty hole,
you could pay us for this. No. Prissy is going to cast Gust of Wind. She does not like not knowing where she is. She does not have dark vision, and she just does not like this uncertainty. So yes.
give me the spell description of Gust of Wind.
Yes. I love that I'm using a second level spell slot immediately, but why not? So a line of strong wind, 60 feet long and 10 feet wide, blasts from you in a direction you choose for the duration. Each creature that starts its turn in the line must succeed in a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet. It's difficult terrain, and the gust disperses gas or vapor. It also extinguishes any flames that are in the range. So I don't, she has no idea where she's facing, but she's just gonna cast Gust of Wind directly in front of her. Okay. With the magical girl hand pose, even.
As you channel your spell and the wind bursts forth from you, some of the fog before you, in front of you, does disperse and lighten up, but not all of it. It seems to be stagnant, like it's not moving, like it's apart and fixed to the very fabric of the space in front of you. Some of the fog does disperse, and you see a bit more body. You see a very tall, very buxom woman laying on the ground. You see a very strapping, scantily clad half-orc dancing about, trying to get his bearings. The fog behind you, however, gets thicker in response.
Hello? Why am I here? Why did you bring me here?
Who said that?
Hello? You now see that behind you is a anthropomorphic bird.
Oh.
Are we all? Do we all see each other?
Yeah. You at this point you can now start seeing shapes of each other. You can hear each other clearly.
I'm on the ground sleeping.
Do I see the shapes as well?
Yes, all of you can now see each other, even if you haven't spoken up yet. You are now, as the fog's dispersing from this giant, loud gust of wind that almost knocks Bustira over to her other side.
Well, technically, since if they're all in the way of the wind, they have to make strength savings so throws or get knocked over.
Everyone that's not an Aarakocra, make a strength saving throw, please.
Oh, we're
First
all
roll of the campaign.
And it's one player against other player.
Our first roll of DDT.
How do you do that?
D&D. You just click the strength, the plus whatever next to strength.
It's my little box that I used for this.
Strength saving throw?
Yes.
See.
17.
I roll.
I'll just
2.
Oh, hold on.
Oh no.
Here's my box. There's my box for dice rolls.
So it's a DC 13 saving throw. So if you get above a 13, you're fine.
Well, I got a 6
already.
So.
Okay.
Oh no, little frog is flying.
All the thick people are just like, what happened?
What happened?
22.
God damn.
That might pass it.
Bustira, you find this gentle breeze to be quite refreshing.
She said,
It's like when you have one leg out of your blanket and you're at that perfect temperature where half of your body's in, half your body's out, and you have a fan directly on your face when you're sleeping. It feels like that.
The dream.
So,
but a fog does fly over your head.
Then that would mean that Fui and Toot are pushed back 15. Oh, did you pass? Did you make the save?
Yeah, I got 17.
Okay.
Yeah,
so then,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you both are pushed back 15 feet.
Can I catch Flea? Is Flea flying?
Yeah,
So it's
make
tiny.
acrobatics or athletics check.
Okay, which one? Oh, I'll do acrobatics. +3, right? 17.
All right, that should be enough to catch a neon pink small frog baby.
By the cape,
You are
just
just in the pecs of a very strapping fearbulk.
It's-
Right there.
I got you.
oh, thank you.
I
I said,
scream.
oh,
But Chalora, you have also been knocked back 15 feet.
Oh yes. So I'm just on the face down on the ground.
You don't have to fall, but you are pushed back 15 feet.
Oh, I'm not. Well, I don't fall over.
Your choice if you would like to follow.
Oh, she just poof.
The spell does not mandate that.
I mean, it came out of nowhere.
It doesn't say not too prone, so.
I rolled a 2.
Wow.
You picked a bad day for high heels.
Literally. Would any gentle person help up a lady?
I go over and help this lady that fell.
Oh,
I
thank
said,
you.
"Oh, are you okay?
I seem to be fine.
What was that?" And I see the bird creature from where the wind originated from. I was like, "Why did you do that?"
Before I continue your answer, can I make a history check if I know who Strahd is? Like if I read the name and knew who that was?
Absolutely. Give me actually anyone who is proficient in history, especially the bard, because bards get like proficiency in everything, can make a history check.
Why?
5. I've never heard the name before.
Beats me.
I have a +1. So
21.
13.
All right.
4.
Earbulk, you've heard the name Straw before, but you can't quite place it, but the name is familiar. Melanie, you are a very studious lady. You are very well versed in arcane arts. So you, in your course of studies, and I don't know how old Melanie is, I don't know how long you live for, but you've probably been around a while, and long enough to know the history of a country that used to be up north on the Sword Coast called Barovia. And about 500 years ago, it just vanished off the face of the planet. Everything was gone, and all that was left was a patch of fog and a dense, blasted heath. Just open field with nothing living.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh well.
Wait, which one of you is Strahd?
Is familiar because he was the crown prince of the Zarevich family and was next in line to become Lord of Barovia. Actually,
So-
no, he was second in line. His older brother was first in line.
So I would know that that's, or would I automatically assume that that's where we are?
Barovia was famous. You would know the name, but you probably wouldn't know much about them
Okay.
because it was 500 years ago, and he was like, he tried to keep kind of low key, but it was a very important rich family that was in charge of a country that's now vanished 500 years ago. Also, if anyone wants to, what what Portia did earlier, out of character. If you want to say something out of character, make sure just what we did in Vampire the Lark, have your fingers crossed in front of you, like so. Out of character. I'm not saying this to Strahd's face. Out of character. Go fuck yourself.
Fair enough. So, which one of you brought me here? Which one of you is Strahd?
Who?
I don't like not knowing where I am.
I look around.
I have no idea who that is.
Mm,
Well, I kind of do. No, I don't see. I don't. Would I know what he would look like if I?
Well, just that we all got the letter with his name on it, so I had to.
Mm. Yeah, no. I just read a letter and then we're here.
I would be quite surprised if any of
I
us
did
were
too.
Strahd.
I thought we were dead. I thought we died.
Oh, we're very much alive, small pink friend.
Oh, good.
As you all commiserate and get closer to each other in this section where the fog was mostly dispersed, you can start seeing what looks like a dim Vespers hour golden twilight sunset with just a light patch of rain and mist. Like it's that uncomfortable warm summer rain though. One that kind of just feels on your skin, just makes you feel muggy and wrong. You know, swamp ass central.
Oh, home.
And the fog clears up in front of you to reveal a large manor house. It looks like to be the grounds of a very large 3-story estate with a servant's house, a large stone gate, stone fence with iron gate, like just a really fancy mansion.
Let's see, what is that? Whose house is that?
To clarify, would I know that this is Barovia?
You could surmise, you can easily guess that you are in Barovia.
Okay. Well, I imagine we're in Barovia.
Yeah. That was in the letter that I got, at least.
You also got a letter?
Yes.
I got a
From
letter
this
too.
Strahd person.
I got money. He wrote on it.
I just got this to hold for someone. I accidentally read it.
I got this letter accidentally as a tip, I think.
And
I looked over at the buxom woman on the ground. I was like, is anyone gonna wake her up?
Sleeping up.
Let's see. Oh goodness, what weapon do you have? I'm gonna Precy takes her quarterstaff and like pokes Bastira hard. Hello?
Hard in the
Big
what?
woman.
Bastria does a quickly takes out. I don't know how her combat works yet.
But you whip it out a titty.
She puts out her titties real quick and concern, and because she's afraid that she's being attacked. What's going on?
So
where am I?
Put those away, girl. We are. Please.
She puts her titties away.
Those are bigger than me.
Trio?
I've seen you around the bar, right?
Trio, right?
Yeah. What are you doing here?
What is happening? I think I drank a lot last night.
Yeah, you did. I saw you at the bar as usual. You know.
Did you bring me here?
No, I read this letter this morning, and now we're here. Now I'm here.
Are these your friends? Hi, I'm Bastria, and I'm sorry. I'm usually not this. Actually, I usually am this drunk.
Where are my manners? I'm Melanie. Nice to meet you.
Hi, you're Drio's friends.
I have no idea who any of you are.
I've never seen any of you in my entire life, and I remember the pink frog.
Yeah, I don't know anybody here.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god. Frog.
Well,
Sorry, I think I almost stepped on him.
It's okay. You probably couldn't see me because of the tits.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Little baby saying tits is incredible.
Would we, as a grung, know what tits are because you're a reptilian race?
That's true. But, he has learned how to read. And he's, gathered context clues. He doesn't know what most things are, but I think he probably would figure that out.
And he immediately went and read a female anatomy book.
Yeah, you'd be surprised the number of dead adventurers I've come across in the jungles of Cholt who had smut with them.
Oh wow.
Juggles in the jungle.
There we go. Play barbarian. Play barb.
And who are you over there? And she
Don't
points
need me.
at Joy's character.
I have no name. So I will refer. You can refer to me as I don't know, you or person. But hi.
So I was right the first time.
Yes. Hi.
Well,
Dario looks up and says, "Oh wow, Daddy."
Goo goo gaga.
I'm baby now.
Is there anything else around us right now, or are we still just in fog?
There is just the fog, the manor house, and it seems like behind the manor house, the fog starts again, like almost a ring around it.
Does anyone live here? Is this your guys' house? Or
Goodness, no.
does anyone recognize this place?
It seemed to me it would seem to be Barovia.
It is not
What's a Barovia?
run down. It does seem slightly in disrepair.
Oh,
Potentially abandoned, or squatters' rights at least.
well, Barovia or not, we should probably see if anyone's there. Do we want to knock on the door?
I mean, there's certainly nothing else to do as far as I can see. I used a very powerful spell, and it seems as though to not have done too much for us. So might as well. Shall we begin to walk towards the house?
I agree. I think we
Sure.
should. Yes.
As you approach the manor, the patch of fog that you dispersed with your gust of spell immediately forms back and reclaims itself into a thin, almost imperceptible mist. The tendrils now long gone and completely obfuscated. The rain starts to pick up slightly.
Ring.
Rain.
Like a sound?
Rain.
Rain. Oh.
Precipitation.
Yeah, let's get out of this rain, please.
Well,
I knock at the door.
Manor house's front facade has like an overhanging like patio with an awning that will protect you from the weather.
Fabulous.
Yes, there's still three of us that technically haven't told everyone else their name. Probably do that before we knock on the door.
You knock and you wait, but there appears to be no answer. The windows appear dusty.
I don't think anyone lives here.
Can I push the door open?
It appears
Gingerly.
locked.
Oh.
You go over the handle, jiggle it. It is locked.
Oh. Do we?
All of you have now made it
Wait?
safely onto the awning and out of the weather, onto the patio.
I look over and there's like a character that hasn't said anything, that is I don't know, where's Kiyoshi's character? Are they here?
They're loading in.
They're loading in.
Posing in the fog.
They're a little late.
Yeah. They haven't finished their letter yet. They got distracted halfway through.
Considering what I know about the character,
I knock harder on the door.
Again, no answer. However, everyone make a perception check.
Oh, good. I have proficiency.
That's cocked.
Oh, nat 20.
Me too.
I got a 16 total.
The fog clears and I can see every. No.
I got a 19 total.
Dirty 20.
Right, everyone with a 15 and above, except for the nat 20. I'll get into that for a second. You hear this blood-curdling feminine voice scream, "Help me! Gods, please, someone help me!"
Oh.
But who got the nat 20?
Me and Portia.
Portia is free and full bulk. Pre and full. Y'all too. As you're listening to the scream, you're first, of course, jostled by it. But then it screams again, and you two notice the scream is identical to the first scream. There's not a change in pitch, cadence, or anything. It is impossibly identical.
Oh. I said, oh, someone needs their help.
We have to help him.
Wait.
I bust my chest against the door to knock it.
I held my hand out. I held my hand out to like block.
I stop.
You grab one titty and I grab the other. You grab one titty and I grab the other. And together we stop this.
This got so fan servicey so quickly.
I think at the moment Bastira was invented, this was all just going to be fan service. I mean, literally, we've got one giant tittied women and 2 thirst traps.
Like, rough enough to get fan animations of snippets of this game. They gotta be anime style with all those giant tits.
Thank you.
They're like impossible titty physics.
Like in high school, the dead.
Yeah, like the Matrix tits.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be possible, but you know what? We'll allow it.
Right.
So those two you're about to batter the door down with your breasts, but they are cupped by a very meaty, firm bovine hand.
And a tiny feathered one.
What are you doing? Why are you stopping me?
I'm not certain that this is everything it seems to be. If you were listening more carefully, you would have heard that those 2 screams were identical. Not just voice, but identical. You heard it too, big one, yes?
Yes, I did. I take my hand off the boob. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay. There is no aura on the door. You do see a faint aura blip past the door about 35 feet ahead of you.
Okay.
It seems to be coming from the side room.
Okay. I see something past the door that seems a bit magical in nature. So,
what do you suggest we do?
Can we sneak in?
Is there perhaps an open window?
Is it?
I could look.
I could check. Oh,
yeah, we could both look.
Lucy, is it raining hard enough that it would affect my flight?
It is not raining that hard.
Okay.
Also, one thing, this is mostly for the chat and for y'all, because I'm one of those really gay DMs that I almost always DM with a soundtrack. And we haven't figured out how to integrate that. So, chat, if you want inspiration for the music that'll be playing here, go to YouTube and look up Under the Moonlight from Radical Dreamers.
Put it in the chat.
Immerse yourselves in my world.
Here's some homework for y'all at home.
But yeah, it's not raining hard enough to prevent you from flying.
Okay. So yeah, Prissy is going to. How many stories is the building? Just 1 or
3?
3 stories. I'll take the top floor and look for windows. The rest of you figure it out.
I can jump and check the middle floor.
And I guess we can run around the bottom floor and figure it out.
Perfect.
Is there a doormat?
This person inside die?
There's not a doormat.
Is there like
except for Fui.
Please.
All right. So yes. So I guess we do that. Prissy flies up and checks the 3rd floor windows. Flies all the way around the house.
Okay. For you, because you're doing like a reconnaissance flyover, give me a perception check.
Sure.
I want you, because you're actively looking, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
That was a 10.
Okay.
Not my best.
Too many windows on the 3rd floor. You see one rounded window and appears to be mostly an attic.
Okay.
Yeah. I also got a 10.
Okay. The windows are really dusty. You see that there is like a master bedroom, or at least an elaborately decorated and very plush bedroom with a complete canopy bed up on the window that you have dropped to.
Okay.
What is everyone else doing on the bottom floor? Sorry, or the bottom floor?
I'll look around for like a door or something around the back or some other entryway.
Okay. So
Did you
you're
say
running
the
around
door
the house.
was locked?
Yeah, the front door was locked.
Okay.
You can try to break it down or lockpick it or find another way in. Dario, you notice that there is a back entrance to the kitchen and a large standalone shed.
I'll say, hey, I found a shed and a back door. I'll go check the shed.
We can table that for next session because I don't have all the stuff for the murder house.
Okay.
Is that ready to go? Because I didn't think we were going to get that far. Also, I didn't want to go too far without Kiyoshi here, especially for a combat scenario. Not that there's combat in the shed, but there's definitely items in the shed that I want to make sure that I get a complete, accurate description of.
Okay, well then we can table that. Then yeah, say there's a back door. Can I see if it's unlocked?
The back door is unlocked.
Oh, okay. I run back to the front. I say, hey, the back door's open. A teehee.
As it should.
Could you come around? Could you come around the front and unlock it? Because I don't want to get in the rain again. I hate being.
Me too.
Maybe
I'll be up front. Let me know. Let me know what's inside.
Okay.
All right. Well then. Yeah, I'll go with Dario. Dario, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he goes with Dario.
Okay. Well, I open the back door to the kitchen and go inside.
All right. You enter and you immediately smell the cloying odor of burning food.
Oh no.
There is a large cauldron on the on what are those things called? It's not an oven, but in the fire pit. Let's say that.
In the hearth.
In the hearth. Yeah, there's a giant cauldron on the hearth that seems to have boiled over, and is just now this mass of brown charred sludge.
Is the fire still burning?
The fire is mostly still burning. It's almost down to embers because the stew is now like quenched most of it, but there is still enough like a tea light worth. There's a door to the south that is barricaded from the inside. It seems like a table and some chairs were turned over against the door to the rest of the house.
And that's the only way to get in and out, right? There's one door?
Yes.
Can I inspect this too?
Back door or front door?
Can I inspect this too?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. What do I roll something for it?
Oh, what do you want to like try to get a taste for it, or try to like make what it was made out of, or is it poisonous? What is your input?
I'm just gonna see like what they were trying to make, honestly.
Investigation.
Okay. Ooh, that's a natural 2.
Cool. All you see is basically unidentifiable chunks of meat, now almost completely dissolved from overcooked vegetable matter, and bones.
Oh.
There's bones.
There's bones in the back door? No. All right.
What kind of bones are those?
A door barricaded from this side and no one in the room.
How did they get murdered? I'm kidding.
Make an intelligence check. Dario and Pre.
Okay.
I'm good at that.
Oh God, intelligence. Well,
Dirty 20.
Well, the door to the house was barricaded and the back door was unlocked, so you think people might have made their escape from whatever's inside the mansion from this juncture. And they set up this area as like a safe house or a safe room.
During dinner time. Got it. Yeah, I didn't. I got a 5, so that's not me. Well, should we unbarricade the door, or should we get our companions?
Let's let everyone.
Whatever's
first,
in this house scared people enough to go to these lengths to keep it inside. I say we get the big woman to deal with the raid.
Yeah. Okay. I say I'll be right back, and I'll go get them. So I run back outside. Go back to the front porch and say, "Hey."
As you're running that way, make a perception check.
Oh, okay. Perception. Okay. I got a natural 20.
We're rolling well.
22 total.
As you're running past the side of the house, something makes you stop in your tracks. You get this vague sensation that you're being watched, and you look up to the second floor window, and you swear you see a pair of yellow glowing eyes dart away.
What the hell is that? Freaked out, I go run faster to get my friends. I say, "Hey, deal with the rain for a minute. We found a way inside."
Okie dokie.
If I must.
And once we all get in there, I say, as I was running back to the front, I saw a pair of yellow eyes staring at me from the second floor window.
Wait, did Bastira just like suck it up and come along, or was there still a resistance?
Yeah, she sighs and picks up Kyoshi's T-posed character like a grass. and walks around through the rain and into the back.
I just picture Kyo's character just being like a cardboard cutout at this point.
Just getting wet and like
it's low resolution polygons.
They're like, oh, they're here. They'll be here soon. I don't know. They're physically they're here. Mentally, no.
This might be a bit of a reach and tell me to go fuck myself, Lucy, but I'd like to do a history check. I got a 19 on like something that is fit in a house size that might have yellow eyes that is dangerous. You can tell me to go fuck myself if this is too general.
Well, a history check might not be appropriate for that. Maybe like Arcana or Nature, if you're like.
Okay. Well, that was much worse. Could I see?
With your history check, you do realize that this, the architecture of this house, dates back to 500 years ago. Like this house is old, antique, and it's using styles of building that have long since been outdated.
Interesting.
We just don't know how long this thing, whatever it is, it has been barricaded inside. I mean, the house is ancient. It could have been here the whole time. This could have happened 20 minutes before we arrived.
Oh, relatable.
Has anyone tried this stew?
It looks rancid.
Go for it, darling. Go for it.
I want to smell the stew and see if I notice if it smells like anything I've ever tasted or smelled before.
Perfect. It is definitely the smell of burning. If you want further, go for perception.
Perception. I don't know why I can never see my perception, which is very. Oh, here it's all alphabetical. I don't know
Having
why
trouble
I'm
perceiving your perception.
Crazy. I got an 8 total. 5 plus
It's
3.
so burnt that you really cannot tell what this used to have been.
I taste it. I want to taste it.
You taste.
I just I dip my finger and just taste it.
It's a heady bouquet of salt, charcoal, and just almost like a little bit of like red meat, like red wine almost. Something like red.
Yeah.
You can maybe
Wow.
perhaps guess this might have been a beef stew at one point.
Why are we here? Did we all discover that we had letters yet?
Yes.
Have we
Yes.
worked that out?
I think you were asleep.
You briefly touched on them, but you didn't go into detail about them. You saw the house and went, "Let's get out of the rain."
I don't think I'm supposed to be here. I don't think I think I'm not. This is wrong. I think they got the wrong person.
You got a
we
letter,
still have
right?
Do we still have our letters on us?
You all do.
Okay. I said, yeah, my letter isn't addressed to me.
Mine isn't either. 'Cause I didn't-
Me
It addresses
either.
someone.
I thought mine
by
was a
name,
spelling
and I don't have
mistake.
one.
The person who had the letter, probably gave it to me, and he's doing fine. He's doing great, actually. Just gave it to me on a whim. Definitely still breathing.
Can I? Is there a way I could roll on that?
Insight?
Am I rolling deception, right?
It's insight versus deception roll.
12.
Your deception, their insight.
Let's see what my insight is. Oh. That's a natural 20.
Oh, fuck me.
Well, so natural 20s are not automatic successes on skills,
Yes.
technically. So even if pre-rolled lower as a number, but their bonuses are higher, they would still outbeat you.
So
what would your
24 total.
I have a +0 because I'm not charismatic, so...
Dario, you know that. Lying out their ass.
I said, uh-huh.
And I got a 5, so I believe it is truth.
Yeah, you do. He's like, okay.
I was like,
Nice.
you're doing just fine, you say? Okay. Sure,
Yes.
sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Well, it's addressed to his name. He told me because he was very much alive when I left him. His name was Garsh Chatterkeel, and that's not me. My name is Precise. But most since you can't necessarily pronounce that, most lesser beings call me Pre.
Well, I totally believe that person is still alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I shake my head.
You just cut your eyes to the camera.
I do the office cutaway. He's dead.
I said he was fine.
I said, "Oh, my little friend."
Can I kneel down to like
Sure.
Fwee's level?
Sure.
And
Who's your name, little one, and who's your letter addressed to?
Mine is addressed to a very handsome orc that frequents the bar that I go to, Turash. He had tipped me while I was dancing last night, and I think he might have accidentally put that letter in with the tip.
a tip you weren't
So-
expecting.
Do you know anything about him? Do you know anything about his life? Why he might have been invited here?
Well, all I know that he's an orc and he can fight.
An orc that can
and,
fight.
My
you
letter was
know?
from a fighter too. I think I think they were an adventure. I remember they said and then I said, of course, would you like to adventure with me? And went home with them, and there were two of them. I don't know if the letter was just for one.
Oh.
I'm not getting good vibes in this place. Should we call for somebody? Do we still hear the calls for help?
There was one more, and again, it was identical.
I said, well, the only way in is if we go through this barricaded door, so...
Wait,
I yell as loud as I can. Hello?
Make a perception check.
For perception. A 19 plus 3.
You bellow out a boisterous hello. You're not certain, but you can swear that you heard tiny, fast footsteps above you.
All right, I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm just gonna walk into the fog. This just is not for me. The letter wasn't for me. I don't think any of us are supposed to be here.
Well, where else will you go?
Forever?
Oh, it is raining. Never mind.
It's raining.
That's not a bad thing.
Once the rain clears up, I'm out of here. Otherwise, I don't know why.
More of this
what
nasty stew, but I'm gonna try and get inside and figure this out.
I
Well,
agree.
Before we do that, we still don't know. Little one, what's your name?
Yes.
And pretty lady, what's yours? And let's talk about the letters. I feel like the letters are key to this whole mix-up.
I'm Flea. And I do like a cute little pose.
I go, oh, it's so cute.
So,
Thank you. Yeah, so I guess this is a letter, allegedly. I thought it was money, but it says that it's to somebody named Garamond, who is apparently a monster. But the person I got it from was not a monster. He was just a human. And then it had a bunch of other words on it that I didn't really understand.
I kneel down to Flea's level, and I say, "Oh, I'm Melanie. It's nice to meet everyone. I think I introduced myself, but maybe that gust of wind was just really loud." And I put my arms out towards Flea to like hold them, to like carry them.
Like baby?
Yes! And
do you want uppies?
but I say, I think it's best if we just press ahead. Doesn't seem we have much of a choice.
Portia and I are on the same wavelength right now.
Someone's here.
Does Flea come into my arms?
Well, I don't think Flea understands what you're doing.
I'm like...
But like, they don't do that with Grongs, and he's not like around other people very much. So, or people who aren't Grong, I guess.
He's like,
so
what
he's
are
just,
you doing?
yeah, he's just like,
not just a baby, a touch-starved baby.
Yeah, that too. Well, I mean, I haven't explained this yet in RP, but I mean, he basically gets like sent off in hopes that he'll die every day by his tribe chief, because the village he's from is like really strict and conservative on like the caste roles of the Grong, and Fui was apparently supposed to be a red Grong, but the color didn't come in quite correct. So they're like, we don't know what to do with you. Go out in the jungle. Go look for danger. They're thinking that he's just gonna get killed by something, and then they don't have to worry about him anymore. But he keeps coming back with candy.
I love that.
So I guess I noticed that you're just sort of like staring at me with my arms out, and she says, "Come on, I'll carry you if you'd like."
Oh, it's okay, lady. I can walk. I can hop.
All right.
Adorable.
Well,
so
are we going upstairs?
Yeah, so I gather we all got these letters by accident, and you know, we don't have a way out currently, so let's make the best of the situation, maybe? I don't know.
Not that we have much choice, I agree.
The
Can I walk towards that glowing door that I saw with my detect magic?
It wasn't a door, but it's an aura. You don't know what it is, but that from at this point, from where you're at now, the aura that you pinged with your detect magic is about 30 yards to the southeast.
So where they go through this door, Ricardo?
So it seems like it's an offshoot of a room from the foyer.
Okay. Well, I say to the group, I did send some magic over yonder there, so I'm gonna see what that is for a little bit. If you wanna come with.
Absolutely.
We all have to go through the door to get there, I believe. So
I start to unbarricade the door, I guess.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but also isn't there like a rolling component that you can make to detect magic to get more information, like schooling, like what type of magic school it is?
Is like an arcana or something?
Let me see. For the durations of you, okay. You can learn at School of Magic, if any. Yes.
It is evocation magic.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. What is evocation magic?
Fireball, magic missile, mostly the destructive stuff.
Oh, okay.
Do you share that with the group?
Yes, I do.
Perhaps like a ward?
Maybe.
Something nasty, that's for certain. There's no cure wounds, that's evocation.
Can we like throw something at it just to set it off?
Well, it's still on the other side of the door, so we got to get through the door to.
I open the door.
Perfect.
I am barricaded and the door gets open.
All right, make a strength check with advantage because you have assistance.
Okay. I got a 17 total plus advantage.
It takes you about 20 minutes to dismantle all of the barricade, but once it's out of the way, the door seems unlocked. It also seems almost bulging and warped in the middle.
Oh. Like something was trying to get in to the room?
You could surmise that something was pushing on the other side of this door and causing it to warp and bend.
I said that's not good.
Oh, on the outside.
Who's the beefy person other than me?
Me.
Like who wants to go in first?
Oh, I don't mind going in first.
Okay.
I'll open the door. I said, okay. Are we ready?
Let's go.
Are you ready?
I'm prepared.
I opened the door.
And I think that's a great place to leave it for now.
Oh.
Perfect.
Okay.
Shit's gonna get real now.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. That door was bulging, and I'm bulging with excitement for our next session.
Considering Dario's profession, I'm sure that Dario's always bulging.
Oh, always. Codpiece is his middle name. His second name, I don't know.
What's his last name?
He doesn't have one.
Okay.
Just Dario.
Dario Codpiece.
For all you know, that could be a name that he gave himself.
Dario Codpiece Jones.
Not Joe.
Dario Shiny Pouch.
Dario Shiny Pouch. He works at the booty hole.
Willie Dick.
And every summer, the booty hole floods.
Well, that'd probably be a good place for me to go then, because I have to be submersed in water every day.
Well, there it is. The booty hole welcomes all. The booty hole does not discriminate.
You'll be bringing along a giant fucking bathtub that you have to care. Oh, no, you're small. Just get like a bucket.
Oh my god!
Like a little fish bowl.
Yeah, I hope there's a moat or something around the castle.
So this was more than I expected for session 0. And so I hope this gives you a nice amuse-bouche for the series proper, episode 1, Welcome to Hell House, which will go July 22nd, because we're every other Saturday.
Yay!
Period.
Every other Saturday at 10 a.m. PST.
Slay the
Yay.
world.
Yeah.
Puriana.
And maybe we can like pull some snippets and clips to like make a full trailer out of this.
Mhm.
Did we level up? And how much XP did we get?
Now you being that person. Did we level up?
I'll be using a milestone level up system instead of making you keep track of XP.
We opened our first door. That's a milestone.
That's gotta be 2 levels.
Yeah.
I think we opened 2 doors.
We opened.
You're right. That should be 2 levels.
A level 2 spell slot.
Am I gonna be
we're not natively open.
Immediately.
I just jumped and looked in the window.
There's also a lot of 20s thrown around this game too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Beerball, grab some tits.
This is true. His big meaty claws.
Yeah. How tall is Bastira?
Oh yeah.
How tall are Goliaths usually?
I'm also pretty tall, actually.
How tall are Goliaths? Goliaths D&D.
Turbos max up to like 8 feet. And
7 and 8 feet tall. So let's just say she's 7 feet tall.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wait, how tall are you, Joey?
8 feet?
Oh.
A giant woman.
How tall is Dario?
How tall do half orcs get?
Are we all just giants and then
Except
we?
All giants and a tiny frog.
And I mean, Precy's pretty tiny as well.
Oh, really?
He's like,
Yeah.
these are our children.
Well,
Yeah.
realistically, that would work really well with me being a rogue. I can just like stand behind you and like sneak attack from like around someone's leg with my little whip.
We don't know what race Kyo is, right?
Half elf.
Half elf.
Oh, half elf. So they're also kind of tall.
Yeah.
Slay.
You are 5 to 6 feet, Aphasia.
Okay, so I'll be 6 feet. That's fine.
Oh, I'm 6'4". I'm taller than you.
Oh wow. Surrounded by
Yeah,
all
we're
these
just-
giant people. Oh my god.
We really are a group of drag artists.
Yeah.
You know?
Just walking in our.
Yeah. It's a good thing that Fui doesn't really have much of a neck because I feel like it would just get strained really easily.
Just looking up lava.
Well, you have those prehensile eyes. They just look up.
That's true. Yeah, they just move around like this the whole time.
Aw.
That's adorable and terrifying.
You know? Slay.
I think that would make
So-
them look even cuter.
You just walk around and they're like, "What, you over here?" No.
All right, and one thing that we also kind of like toss around is to like open things up, like have like an untucked after game to like open things up to the chat and like what do they want to know, what do they want to see, what do they want to hear. So chat, talk to me, baby.
Question.
Who is your favorite? Who's the hottest? What was your favorite moment? Who you looking forward to seeing more of? You know.
Favoritism.
We all
Who had the best character voice?
Who's the most bird-like?
Who's juggling the most plates?
Who's gonna die first?
Ooh, place your bets now, people.
Oh yeah.
Every time I do a campaign, me and my friends always like, who dies first? And whoever wins, whatever, we all put like $5 in the pot, and whoever wins gets like whatever. Usually I die first, so.
Uh-oh.
Good to know.
Well, you
Well,
did.
that's typically because I play a lot of non-physical fighting people, and I have 0 HP.
Oh.
So, I'm good this time. I hope. I don't want to die.
I think Fui will all outlive us, says Dola.
Well, I've got plenty of time because I'm 10 months old. So
How long do you how long do they live for?
I think they've seen anywhere from like 50 to 75.
Oh wow.
But they hit adulthood at 1.
Oh.
So
So you're like a teenager.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
But it's like I'm just in general like really naive because he just hasn't lived long. So
Flea's froggy balls might actually drop in the duration of this.
Froggy
balls.
Just one session, he goes, starts speaking real low.
Oh, guys.
Do you want some candy?
Oh, God.
Don't give the frog a panel down.
I just get Joy's voice mod that they accidentally turn on all the time.
Oh my God, I love.
What do you mean?
Actually do voice
there we go.
What do you mean? What voice mod?
This is how I sound when I'm not masking.
You guys gonna see Trashley's giant tits in the future.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see someone get knocked out with a titty.
KO.
It's like Gallagher but with tits.
Melanie goodness.
Tatalic.
We have We've already established Chekhov's breasts. They will come into play in the later sessions.
If you introduce titties in the first act, they must beat enemies senseless in the second. Yes, we all know.
I mean, that is kind of the Roger Corman playbook of making movies. You have 3 women show their tits in the film, have the main character show her tits twice, so the audience thinks they get more tits per capita.
Oh yeah, are we gonna have full frontal male nudity in this game? Because I think that's.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Who's volunteering?
Probably from Dario. Honestly, he'll probably be like, I'm gonna go take a bath or a shower over here, and then, it's that whole slow mo from the ground up kind of moment.
Yeah.
And then
kind of like in what was it like?
He has a third leg.
I mean, it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Let's just not turn this into Fear and Hunger then.
Well,
the 3 people that got that joke.
And nobody should lick Fui, otherwise it'll turn into Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh my God.
2 people got that joke.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
You'll get high and real sick.
I'm already sick as fuck. What up?
What are you guys as us as the group looking forward to, excited about? Because I'm prepared to punch a lot of things and look sexy while doing it.
I'm excited about the collab. Oh, you go.
Go ahead. Yeah.
There's a delay. I was just gonna say I'm excited about collaborative storytelling and just discovering my character through the campaign. That's always the most fun part of D&D to me.
Yeah, every time I get a character concept, halfway through the campaign, the character has a come to Jesus moment and completely 180s. It becomes a different person because of their growth.
I love that.
100%.
What were you saying, Joy?
I'm just excited to just get into it because I am not used to playing a bard. I've never played a bard. I've only played warlock, and it's gonna be interesting to incorporate the chef aspect into this.
Warlock's one of my favorite classes as well. Because it sucks so hard in 3.5, but now it's just we wanted to do a campaign that it got canceled because we did Curse of Strahd. It was going to be Oops All Warlocks, and we would all be Warlocks of different subclasses to see how well that would go.
Oh my God, that sounds like fun.
Because a long time ago, a different friend group and I, we did Oops All Barbarians.
We're oops all tall people, except
tall people and frog.
Oops all talls.
I need tea if I want to do those little reptile shrieks again.
What I lack in height, I make up for in ambition.
And poison.
And poison.
That toe. Yeah,
As a matter of fact, you're borderline a Coen Brothers character.
Not that.
I think my biggest thing I'm excited for, I'm really excited to see like how my roguish archetype choice is going to get, like how it's going to come into play, and getting to like do stuff with that more, because I had a really hard time picking one, because I had two ideas that I really liked, and I think specifically with where this campaign is set, the one that I landed on is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm at a point where my ADHD autism has me jiggling and shimmying because I want to spoil so much and just talk about it, but like, no, I can't spoil the game for them.
Yeah, not that. Surprise us.
Oh, baby, I will.
Oh, God.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
I go stand in the rain. Hydration.
Like Shawshank Redemption, not in this bitch.
Yes.
Oh my God. Not out of the poop shooting into the rain.
Well, like that's the other thing too. Like with Grungs, since they have to be like submerged in water for or like at least an hour between like every long rest, or either that or like a day or whatever. Otherwise, all of my rolls are really negatively affected because I'm exhausted, because I'm dried out.
No, not the crusty frog.
I'm just gonna be like all wrinkly and pruny.
Also, Pre, do we want to retcon you burning a level 2 spell slot so early, or do you want to roll with it?
I mean, I would appreciate it, especially since it was kind of a mulligan.
Yeah, we can do that.
I appreciate that.
Cantrip that does almost the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily took that one, but I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually going to do more than it did.
Yeah, the mist that surrounds Barovia is living and unmovable.
Right. Thank you very much.
A reverse wetsuit to keep Fui wet.
Yes.
There we go.
It's got like a whole like hydration pump system.
You're gonna be like Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
You know?
Mr. Freeze.
That's after his balls drop. Then he becomes. I'm not Fui anymore. I'm Mr. Fleas.
Okay.
That's the business name for the candy.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Flea's Candy Company. Oh, this is adorable.
Excuse me, Frog. Hello. Right. That's basically just a still suit from Dune, I'm now realizing, the reverse wetsuit. Stop daydreaming about Zendaya.
Love her so much.
And I'll get a little stand to like put figurines up here. So like when Strahd's here, Strahd will be here. And of course the Strahd wig.
I'm very excited to be the straight man here and take my, like, Precy takes herself very seriously.
Straight.
I know, right? I'm kind of imagining her as, haven't all of you seen Community?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of imagining her as the Britta of the group.
Oh, God.
Right.
She's the worst. Look at him as Britta.
I can forgive racism, but I draw the line.
Right.
You can forgive racism?
You can forgive racism.
Right.
It's also the way that that's one of the best episodes of Community, and like it's like banned now because Chang did air quotes black. He didn't, but like whatever.
Like that's one of the things that like was like a big conversation topic here in Houston. is doing like the pitch black drow makeup blackface, and a lot of the kings and queens said yes. And we're like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
grayish.
Yeah, there's a lot of drow that are like gray. That
Yeah, they changed that since fourth edition. In fourth edition on, where they drow are like grayish, silver, purplish.
Mm-hmm.
Because you wouldn't have hypermelanin if you live underground.
I just paint myself white and then like invert the camera.
There it is.
My lawyers are saying that's ill-advised.
Right. Also, I greatly appreciate Lucy like whipping the wig off. That is a wonderful tradition of mine. The moment I'm stopping being paid for a gig, gone. Absolutely gone.
Yeah. Are we getting paid?
Not yet.
Well, once we get sponsored by a certain online platform for D&D, possibly, yes.
Do we want to be sponsored by Wigs?
Not sponsored.
Or we could get like
car for sale.
Like a gay water endorsement, so we could all sip vodka heritage while we play.
I need sponsorship from Aquanet for all the hairspray I use in my wigs and my face setting.
No, girl, got to be. Let's get a sponsorship from Got to Be.
Do I look like I got to be money?
That's fair.
No, Aquanet, you give your hair an AC as well. I can't wait to see what shenanigans you're going to pull, because DMs make plans and players laugh. I had an entire boss fight trivialized because of a goddamn oxygen tank in its mouth. But that's neither here nor there.
I love that. I love those moments where the players find a way to deal with what you've given them in a way you did not expect. That's great.
It's the worst. You said, I did not expect you to use this way, and I hate you for it.
It really does hate my nipples.
He's like, now I'm going to find a way to kill you or break that item. Anyway.
That's another thing. When the autism and ADHD hit just right.
It's that fine level of dopamine. And also this with cranberry juice. I swear I'm not day drinking yet.
I'm about to go make a margarita.
That sounds wonderful.
Give me one margarita.
Oh my god.
We did some fucking those Walmart frozen margarita pouches for 4th of July.
And
like,
give me three give me 3 margaritas. I'm gonna put it in my cloaca.
Not anyway. Portia will not be joining us next time because Portia's on punishment for that joke. Screaming.
Excuse me.
This bird is grounded.
Also, Chalora, I saw in the chat that you actually put the music in, so thank you. That was awesome.
You're welcome. It was really nice ambience.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite sneaking around at night track.
Also, Radical Dreamers is good.
I wonder maybe, Lucy, you could make a Spotify playlist and Chalora could just play it?
I absolutely will, if they have video game music on Spotify.
I also don't have Spotify.
Quite a bit.
Also royalty free.
Oh.
Well, we can, there's a way that we could do.
I was going to make up because I don't know what Pib does, but I know that she has like an OC remix music just playing throughout the entirety of her stream, and has like a little thing at the bottom that tells what song's playing. Like, however she does that, be top notch. But
yeah,
I know a bunch of like OC remix free songs from video games that would fit because I can't use the actual game music. Some of them are copywritten because Final Fantasy has a full goddamn orchestra.
Yeah.
I can talk to her, or do you want to
Could you do that, please? Because my day today and the rest of my summer 2 starts Tuesday, and I need to finish my syllabus. And I teach from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I gotcha.
Summer, and it's gonna suck hard.
I gotcha.
Before we end today, I ask that everybody here, as well as everyone in the chat, gives a big, enormous, huge, overwhelming, throbbing thank you to Joy for setting up all the assets, making little art pieces, organizing everything.
Yes.
Like, Joy did everything. So
It's Joy.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you, Joy. And thank you to our lovely DM Lucy for putting all this planning in as well.
Thank you. I deserve this.
And thank you, mods.
Yes.
Thank you, mods. Thank you for coming to hang out with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, chat, for tuning in. Also, please spread the word around. Tweet us, social media, get the word out. Use the hashtag Wigs and Wyverns to help us grow and get our name and bussies out there.
Yeah.
Oh, please keep my pussy out there.
Please, it's been so long. Anyways.
It's been so long.
407 bussies ago.
Well, yours would be a cloaca, but yeah.
Actually, no. Take it back. I'm less excited about being the bird of the group. I'm more excited about all the cloaca jokes we're going to make.
Oh waka waka.
See, my stream is nothing but cloaca jokes a lot because we talk about furries and scalies, mostly scalies, a lot. In fact, a running catchphrase is glistening scaly cock.
And cloaca waka.
And cloaca waka.
Oh my God.
Waka waka.
Incredible.
I love how the Google chat translated right to cloaca waka.
Walker. Roger. Are we allowed to use an ampersand and a hashtag? Will it accept that?
I have no idea.
No, it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be Wigs and Wyverns.
Well, which do we
Wigs
want?
and Wyverns.
Choose it now.
I've been prepping the word and.
I have two.
Okay, we'll do and.
Because even D&D uses the word just in instead of the ampersand for their hashtag.
That's a great question, Dola. MILF.
It does not.
MILF?
MILF. Oh, it does. Ah, rude.
That's wild.
Got
And you
MILF?
see,
Well,
you
what
bring
about
up MILF,
DILF?
And there's another spoiler I want to give, but I have to restrain myself.
Stop it.
But just know, MILFs are on the menu.
Puppet, give her a boop.
No, we're gonna put the puppet back on the hand first.
Just give the puppet a little spray bottle, and every time you're gonna spoil something, just
No! No! Love it.
Oh no.
Oh.
Wait, did it censor DILF?
Yes.
Ah. Oh,
It's not
okay.
guilt.
Gilf, MILF, and DILF.
That's wild.
I need to see it.
Fascists.
Well,
Gilf is bad, but cuck is okay.
What about cis? Is that taken out of here? Is that
Elon Musk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it capitalized cis for you.
Cisgender Elon Musk.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Cis is a slur. Some with incel. Twink is a slur. You can't use that word.
How about Karen?
Karen is about as the N word. If you can't say the word.
We're really going to test out the whole thing. Everything.
We'll just think of more expletives to test Google captions on.
On the
over
Stream
time.
Queen's official channel.
That's right. All 38 of our viewers will be able to participate in this experiment.
Oh yes. Does chat have any suggestions?
Yeah, give us some slurs in chat.
Let's wrap this up, please.
Don't get yourself banned, but also.
All right, so let's wrap up. So catch
Yes.
us next time, 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern on July the 22nd for episode 1. Welcome to the Hell House. I hope you're excited as I am. My nipples can cut glass, baby. So, adventurers, give a bow, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh wait, are we rating somebody?
We are.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
Did I type it wrong? No, I didn't.
Raiders, get your pants on.
Okay.
Oh, come
Bye,
on,
darling.
Do we want a
Your
raid
ratings.
message?
DD Mega Q.
Wigs
Hold
and
on to your wigs.
Wyverns.
Yes.
And we're
Hold on.
waiting. The Wigs and Wyverns wait.
Roll for perception.
Oh, that one's cute, Joy.
Wyvern wing. Hold on to your wigs, the wyverns. Oh, I like that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on to your wigs, the wyverns are coming. 100%. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, we love that. We love that.
All right.
Also, just so y'all know, LMD is celebrating 4 years, so
So exciting.
Period. Well,
All right, darlings.
OMG,
Mwah.
it's
Thank
been
you all
so
so
much
much.
fun.
Goodbye,
Yes.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
And Keel will be here next time. Keel will be here.
Yes.
So.
Kyo will be back from Europe.
The land of foreskin.
Ah, delicious.
Hey, it doesn't censor foreskin.
What a way to end.
What a way to go.
That's right. That's right. Now, foreskin has to be the last word we say on every stream.
Yes. Like I said, I have a type.